Board of Selectmen meeting for Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023 to order. This is being conducted in a hybrid fashion as allowed by legislative action. For item 1, Pledge of Allegiance, Charles.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Charles. Public forum. Anyone wishing to participate in public forum? Provide us any feedback. It's hard for me to identify, so just speak up if you want. All right, hearing none. Let's move on to item 3, and that's the approval of minutes. And the approval of the 3.1 is the December 19th, 2022 meeting. Is there a motion?
Yeah.
And a second.
Yeah.
Any comments or questions? No? Well, let me try your minds. Those on Zoom, Selectwoman Renner?
Aye.
Selectwoman Ruoff? There you go. Aye. I see your hand. Got it. And those in the room?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item 4, Board of Ed Director of Operations Facilities, Cliff Gurnham. Cliff, good morning.
Good morning. So I did send over a letter. I presume you did receive that outlined the various options that we had gone through with this project, looking at different options to reduce the sound for our neighbors over at Long Hill Fields. I don't know if there was any questions about all that work that's been done over the last 4 years. We are still requesting to move forward with the proposal to put the silencers on the 2 chillers and award that work to AVT in the amount of $158,974. Again, this has been looked at by the Standing Building Committee, the Board of Ed, and now the Board of Selectmen.
Cliff, thank you for the letter explaining the steps that were taken to try to address this issue. And it looks as if you went through 6 or 7 options. One question I have, well, prior to that, is there a motion to remove this item from the table? So moved. And a second?
Second.
All those in favor, those
Aye.
on Zoom?
Aye.
Selectwoman Renner?
Aye.
Selectwoman Ruoff is also an aye with her hand up. And those in the room?
Aye.
All right. So Cliff, I did have one question on item 3, the installation of the sound absorbent blankets. That is currently being completed now. The date says completed March 2021. Is that the one that's going in now, or was that already completed?
That's already completed.
Okay, what is the project that's currently going in right now?
That was the change out of the TecoGen fan from a standard fan to a low noise VFD fan, and it was relocated from the top of the TecoGen down to the ground level within that pit.
Okay. Good. All right, questions or comments on?
When is that scheduled to be completed?
That should be completed and coming online this week or next.
I'm sorry, which item on the list is that one, Cliff? Is that included in the list of 7 options,
It's
possibilities?
item number 4.
Number 4, okay. Oh, thank you.
Yep.
But you're not confident that that's going to have any big change?
No, because that's only taking care of the noise from the TecoGen and not the chillers themselves.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? All right. Is there a motion to approve the contract in the amount of $158,974 to AVS Specialist, Inc.? Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve it. It's a very thorough process that we've been provided here as to what they went through. The bottom line is the town's got to get in compliance.
I'll second.
I'll second it. Susan, were you going to say something?
No.
It was Sandy. I have a question. So whenever I can have a question, I'll have a question.
Certainly. How about now?
Okay. Cliff, if we pass this, which I think we're inclined to do, are you going to be coming back to us in 6 months and say, now we have to do option number 8 because option number 7 didn't do the trick? I mean, is this it for the silencing or the reduction of noise on this particular situation?
The engineers are very confident that this will take us down below the limits, regulations. And then even though we get down below those regulations, there could be further discussions with our neighbors, whether or not everybody feels that that's sufficient or whether we want to be nicer neighbors and do something more.
Mhm.
But the engineers are pretty confident that they'll bring us back
What
within
is the
regulations.
something more?
I feel like our obligation, Cliff, is to be in compliance with our own
At
regulations.
the minimum, but if we're gonna continue to get complaints and then have to do something else,
Well, I think I hope what Cliff was saying is we will engage in conversations with the neighbors relative to it. We're not committing to doing anything beyond getting it to the decibel level, the statutory
okay,
requirements.
and I understand that. My concern is we're gonna spend another $150,000 now. And we don't know if it's going, we're hoping it's going to appease the neighbors somewhat, but we don't know. That means we may end up spending $500,000. Why not just save the 150 now and just do it?
Yeah.
Whatever that is. I mean, that's the question.
Well, so I think the underlying question is, what would be the next step if this didn't work? Would it be re-engineering the entire HVA system, the entire system?
We discussed that further. It could be just, again, adding a fence. Again, if we're within our regulations, right?
Mhm.
And we discussed that with Long Hill Fields. It may be up to them to install fencing or shrubbery to reduce the sound further. You know, our intentions are to get it as low as possible doing what we're doing right now. But again, we just want to be nice neighbors and make sure we sit down with them, explain what we've done, and we're keeping them in the loop, and where our threshold is as far as our responsibility versus their requirements or what their expectations are.
Mhm.
Right, so assuming that this works, we are under no obligation to do anything beyond that at this point.
Correct.
And that would be a separate level of conversation.
Mm.
However, if this does not work, yes, there will be possible other expenditures that would need to take place in order for us to be in compliance with our own noise ordinance,
Mhm.
right?
Correct. But again, the engineers feel this would be the best option to get us to our regulations.
Mhm.
The most prudent way of doing it.
I mean, we kind of have to do this. I mean,
Yeah.
we have no standing in court if we weren't within our own regulations.
Right. Cliff, can I ask you to remind us, what does the ordinance require now in terms of decibels, and where are we at this point? How far apart are we?
We're about 10 decibels apart, approximately. So they feel we'll be able to drop down below that doing this.
So I'm sorry, if that's the case, why wouldn't, again, option 4, it's in the works, it's about to go online, it's expected to reduce by 33 decibels.
Mhm.
Wouldn't that solve the problem if it worked?
That's during the day, so that definitely helps, but that doesn't run at night, so that will not help us.
Doesn't run at night, gotcha, okay,
Correct.
all right.
And that's why we're doing the combination of these two things,
Yeah.
both for day and evening, correct?
Okay, thank you for explaining that.
All right, anything further? All right, let me try your minds. Those on the screen, Selectwoman Renner,
Aye.
Selectwoman Ruoff. There's a hand up, that's a yes. Those in the room?
Aye.
Thank you, Cliff.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You
Happy
bet.
New Year.
Item 5, Police Chief Butch Hyatt, consider and take possible action to purchase a police vehicle from Jengris Ford under state contract 19 PSX 016. Good morning, Butch.
Morning and Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year as well. So I'm gonna ask the obvious question. We still can't seem to line up hybrid or electric vehicles at this point. Availability is still an issue, Chief?
Availability is the killer on this. Again, it's one of the things that we've wanted to do, as we've talked about before, moving toward that with all or most of the fleet, but we just can't get them. And it sounds like a lot of that supply chain stuff is starting to ease up a little bit. So I'm hopeful that, maybe by this time next year, we're going to be in a better place. But right now, we still can't get them.
Okay.
That's
Chief,
what we-
this
that's
was
when we-
only one vehicle. What was the total fleet add for fiscal year 2022-23? How many new cars were we putting online? 3?
There was 3. The board approved 3 marked vehicles a couple of months ago, and this is an unmarked. This is an administrative vehicle, so it would be either for chief, deputy chief, the detectives, that type of a vehicle to replace one of those vehicles.
Got it.
And this was budgeted. We budgeted for the hybrid, but because we can't get it, that the cost is going to be significantly less. But it was budgeted through the capital for 22-23, and this has gone through the Board of Police Commissioners for approval prior to coming to you today too.
Great, thank you. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, just Chief, thanks for that information. Does the administrative vehicle end up with additional fitting out as a standard patrol vehicle?
It does. I didn't bring that in front of the board because it doesn't rise to that level of cost. So, but it is because those administrative vehicles were required to have lights and siren in it in case it's going to be used as an emergency vehicle. So we do put a package in there that's much less of a package than goes into the marked cars, but they do have lights front and rear and a siren.
Okay.
How about cameras?
Body cameras, any of the administrative vehicles, the police accountability bill calls for at least a body camera on somebody driving an administrative vehicle.
Right.
So we don't fit those administrative vehicles with an in-car camera like the marked vehicles have to be.
And those are not used for transporting passengers or folks who you're bringing back to the station because they don't have the
Customers
cages,
and no, we don't typically use them for transport of vehicles. So there is no prisoner containment systems in them or anything like that. So there's no need for that type of install in those vehicles as well.
Got it. All right, anything further? Is there a motion to approve the purchase of the 2023 Ford Explorer with a standard administrative package at $40,137 to Chengris Ford LLC?
So moved.
And a second.
I'll second.
Any further comments or questions? Let me try your minds. Selectwoman Renner?
Aye.
Selectwoman Ruoff? Yep, there's the aye. Those in the room.
All right.
Aye, that motion carries.
Thank you
Chief,
very much.
and, Deputy Chief was on the line, I think, for a little bit too, so thank you very much.
Well, thank you again for your consideration, and certainly appreciate moving this forward.
Thanks, Chief. Have a good day.
You too.
Item 6, Finance Director Mary Jane Malvasi, fiscal year 23 budget, request for budget transfer. MJ?
Oh, good morning. I'm on my phone. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, great. This is a standard request that we do on an annual basis when we have contracts that have been executed after the budget has passed. The HR director's budget contract lapsed for year 2022 and 2023. So this particular transfer of 5,314 actually represents 2 years of increases. And we'd like to get this done before we do the budgets so that we can be comparing the right salaries from year to year.
Great. All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Comments or questions? Hearing none, let me try your minds. Selectwoman Renner?
Aye.
Selectwoman Ruoff? There's the wave. We've got to start doing this wave, maybe. Those in the room?
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Thanks, MJ.
Thank you.
Item 7, appointments and resignations. 7.1, act on a recommendation to appoint Garth Varian as an alternate to the Shellfish Commission to fill a vacancy for a term to expire February 28, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Let me try your minds. Selectwoman Renner,
Aye.
Selectwoman Ruoff. That's an aye. And those in the room?
Aye.
That motion carries. 7.2, act on a recommendation to appoint Mary Beeman to the Historic District Commission for a term to begin February 1, 2023 and expire January 31, 2028. Is there a motion? I ask again, is there a motion? Failing to receive a motion, that falls to the table. 7.3, act on a reappointment of Kimberly Brockett to the Board of Assessment Appeals for a new term to begin February 2nd, 2023 and expire February 1st, 2025. Is there a motion?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
And second?
I'll second.
And I would like to also second that. Kimberly's been doing yeoman's work on that board for a while, and thank God she and the other 5 members are, because they're going to have their hands full with this reval. So let me try your minds. Selectwoman Renner.
Aye.
Selectwoman Ruoff. Aye, there it is. Those in the room?
Aye.
That motion carries. Is there any other motions that, is there something we want to add to the agenda? Which I would like to add to the
I
agenda.
think you have one more.
Yeah, you put
Michelle
more
said
Oh, yeah, no, she was already approved.
We did that last time.
Last month, right,
Yeah.
Trey? So this just
Yes.
stayed on.
that just carried over.
It just
Okay,
carried
sorry.
over.
Okay.
That's right. I understand that there may be an opportunity to move someone on the Historic District Commission. Is there a motion to add an agenda item to Lou?
I'd like to make a motion to add Rose Robinson, an agenda item to add Rose Robinson to, from an alternate to a regular position on the Historic District Commission.
I'll second it.
Second that. Any further comments or questions? Let me just make a comment here. Rose is an alternate. She is the longest serving alternate, which is typically the way they get appointed. So she's actually the first in, so she gets the first promotion up in terms of alternate to full. Any other comments or questions? Let me try your minds. Those on the screen, Selectwoman Renner.
Aye.
Selectwoman Ruoff. The regal wave now. Those in the room.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carried. Item 8, committee reports. Item 9, correspondence. 10, old business.
So as not to, we're at the end of the regular agenda, so as not to cut anybody off, I have an appointment I have to get to in New Haven.
Thank you.
Matt?
You got it. Item 11, new business. Item 12, public forum. Anyone wishing to address the board in public forum? Just in time.
Just, man,
Just in time delivery.
wow. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to comment on the healthcare insurance account. I've been a participant in the town medical insurance plan for 42 years. Have paid co-pays to the self-insured plan since its inception. By the spring of '23, I'll be coming off the plan and will be requesting reimbursement for my portion of the accrued surplus. As most of you know, as part of the plan, the town and employees each contribute a percentage of the total 100% cost. Starting in 2013-2014 fiscal year, the account began to run a surplus. First year, a little over $8,000, but by 2014-2015, surplus had grown to $679,000. Fast forward to date, fiscal year ending 21-22, the surplus is $7,438,883. The finance director will report the 21-22 surplus as $4,916,883, but that figure is misleading. Over $2.5 million of healthcare surplus money, roughly 500,000 of that being employee money, has been diverted to the newly created OPEB, 2.5 million, and the Fit Nation program, 22,000. For purposes of my comments, I will be using the actual surplus of $7,438,883. There are roughly 550 participants in the healthcare plan at any time, both town and school employees. Based on the $7,438,883 surplus divided by the 550 employees, total surplus per participant would be $13,525. I have paid a 16% cost share since 2013, 2014. And based on that, I calculate my portion of the surplus is $2,164. I will be presenting a formal letter of request to the Board of Selectmen today for my portion of the surplus money. If easier for accounting, I would accept a credit on my present healthcare account in that amount. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jeff. Anyone else looking for public forum? Nobody else is on the line. I think we've exhausted that. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second, Sandy on the second? Great.
Aye.
All right.
A little premature.
And you're voting, Sandy, you're voting aye? And Selectman Renner, are you still
Aye.
there or?
I'm still here. Aye.
Aye, good. And those in the room?
All right.
Aye. Thank you.
Is that the fastest meeting ever?